and because Restream is broken, I have to change my title real quick. It hasn't worked right in quite a while, as far as I can tell. Wait, are we live? Yeah, it says we are. Where's my thing? Um, there we go. Also, do you want to just? I know you've been on a couple times. Do you want to introduce yourself real quick, for anybody who doesn't know who you are? Absolutely. I don't know if I knew that about you. That you did a lot of conservative YouTube consumption. Sure. I think the I I agree. So I'm not gonna dive headfirst into it quite yet, but was Charlie Kirk part of that media diet? Sure. Yeah, I think that was the at least I think that's the draw, especially in the early days. Was they were the first people to kind of make like debate and politics like sexy and appealing. It's very cool to see somebody get like not nowadays like we're used to people going for dunks and stuff, but when you never seen that before, it was pretty electric. Oh,
I'm sure we'll.
okay. Uh, yeah, I'm just checking my sound real quick. Somebody said they're having a hard time hearing. Say something now.
Yeah,
There
test.
we go.
Sounding good?
Yep. Oh, hey, Emery. Yeah, I think that like I think I seen Ben Shapiro a long time ago before I was really aware of anything, and I think the first person was Jordan Peterson. That interview that the woman did with him, where he just like smoked her. She wasn't ready for it. And then I talked
Yeah,
to one of my
that was a
friends and
big
was
one.
like, "Oh, he's bad." And I was like, "He seemed pretty good to me." But the conservatives were very good at putting out really good, uh, like a couple of videos to get big off of back then. Everything that went
Yeah.
viral was like super hot.
Oh, it really was. And I do think it's kind of funny how conservatives have really like, in the late 2010s, they were like, "Oh, we're getting beat digitally. We have the digital strategy." I mean, I guess as far as like campaigns and like official politicians, they did, but as far as like online, I mean, I'll be honest, conservatives have been killing it for like 10 years. And
Yeah.
there are a few leftists that have been able to really, make hay of this model, but I'll be honest, like not as many. Not as many.
It's I think it's the consistency of what they're supporting. As liberals, you have to keep moving things forward, and conservatives don't have to go anywhere. So every time you debate, you're building up your strategies, you're building up your arguments for the same exact thing every time. And if you're on the left, every time you get something, it's like, well, what's next? Um, Especially because
Yeah.
when the conservatives were doing stuff in the early days, it was really just trying to fight for political capital. So there really wasn't, aside from the idea of being conservative, there really wasn't a what's next. Was let's get some people in office to support us, because like Bush was the last president they had, and very unpopular. And even as a Republican, that we need to support him. Like he was a kind of embarrassing. Um,
Yeah, I'm not sure people really liked him as much as they were like, "Oh, I didn't like Gore." A little before my time, but from what I've
I
heard, what I think is kind of interesting is like there's so you said it's like easy to stay in the same spot, but over on the conservative side, there's actually a lot of people on the right seem to think that it's easier to move things along. And I will say,
now
if you look back at the counterpoint to this, or I guess the point supporting this, is that if you look back at U.S. like political history over the last 50 years, like what has nationally gotten more conservative over the time? I mean, there's not many things, right? Like abortion is for sure one of them. That's mostly recent stuff. But and maybe gun rights with that. But I mean, since the 70s, this might be a hot take, but conservatives have like lost on almost every single social issue, right?
yeah.
From from transgender to same-sex marriage to like almost everything. And that's
Yeah.
really what they feel on the right. They feel that it's easier to move it along. So maybe this is kind of a thing where like one side they both see the grass is greener on the other. I don't know.
They took a lot of lumps, and to their credit, they adapted pretty well. Pretty crazy that for the most part, the right is pretty accepting of gay people compared to like 20 years ago. Pretty large transformation there, which is surprising. But I think it was about getting the same ideas that they like when they had policy, getting policy that they wanted, was like the main thing, and now they can actually push for things too. They actually have political capital to enact changes to, I guess, in my view, roll things back.
That's true. The right, like in recent history, at least in the last 20 years, the right has never both had the political capital and the culture that they do now.
The
I mean,
culture's huge.
I don't know if you feel the same way, but like the culture has turned extremely rightwards from where it was
Yeah,
as to like even 2 years ago. I mean, it's pretty
yeah,
like
absolutely. And I
yeah.
just my girlfriend was over last night, and oh wait, no, that wasn't her. I was talking to my friend on the phone, who is also a woman, who has similar political views. She was talking about this woman that she'd like to run in the next election. I was like, I mean, I'm pretty black pilled. I think Trump's going to run again. I was like, you can't throw another woman against him. The country's just not. It's too conservative for that. That's crazy. Um,
Yeah,
uh,
it's just like they couldn't run Buttigieg because, as bad as it is, a lot of people just wouldn't vote for the guy. Not because of his policies, but because of who he is.
that's true. I think that the acceptance. Well, it is interesting. I think that the public facing part of conservatism is we're accepting of gays, even to where like if you were in like a really conservative church, and if somebody said in church like that, like said something negative about somebody being gay, I think you're more likely to be ostracized than they are. However, I still think that there's a less spoken values that would prevent somebody from voting for him for sure.
No, I get that, right? Because I think publicly they have to say that. I think at this point you really it's quite unpopular to say the
Yeah, even if
opposite.
you don't agree, even
You
if
have to.
you are fully bigoted and you hated gay people, I think that you would stand up for the gay person in your church because it's just you have to.
Yeah. And yeah, you made a good point about them being adaptable to like really, okay, so this has moved on, but like what can we do to still get the rest of the policy?
Yeah,
And
they've played the
you know,
game better, way better.
but I will say objectively, like they've kind of lost on that social side then, right? If these things of at least for, like from a conservative perspective.
I would say they lost the war, but they they picked up like new strategies from it by having the forward facing, like the front facing pro gay attitude. They can get away with a lot more.
That's fair. I think that's quite
Um,
fair.
Conservatives are better at adapting to the culture, I think, than liberals are. In fact, the thing that I hate the most about the left is that the big push in the more like counter Democrat left side is I want exactly what I want and nothing less. And if I can't have it, I don't want anything at all. There's no desire for incremental change. Whereas conservatives have, for my whole life, pushed for incremental change, incremental change. Um, it's just a much more effective strategy. Like when Biden
You're
gave some on student loan debt, people were like, "What? Why not just get rid of it all?" I'm like, "You're crazy. Take what you can get. That's a win." And to them, that's losing. Getting some of
yeah,
what
they're
you want
really
isn't a victory, which is conservatives would rejoice.
no, that's definitely a difference. People on the right are willing to take those little steps, and people on the left really want big leaps. And maybe you could say that, hey, people on the left have been lucky over the last like 30, 40 years that the culture has kind of more or less been behind that and have made those big leaps possible. But yeah, maybe in the next 10 years that if that's not possible, they're going to have to adapt or they just won't get anywhere. They're just going to lose on that.
I think so. So, being
Yeah.
somebody who's independent, what do you think about the attitude on? We'll just say on Twitter. Since Charlie Kirk got shot. Also, I wanted to ask you: did you actually see the video? I've been telling everybody if you haven't seen it, don't watch it.
Yeah, unfortunately I did. Being the co-founder of a political live stream platform, I'm on Twitter and all the other social medias a lot. And side note, them promoting this and showing it even without a disclaimer on some accounts is pretty bad. Like the average person really shouldn't be seeing this. I mean, like
It's
yeah.
the worst
I
I've
know
ever
people
seen
complain
on
about like
U.S.
violent
soil.
video games. It's it's bad. Like I don't think seeing that kind of violence is very good for people's mental health, personally.
Well, not
But
just that. I think that. Well, yeah, I guess it is that. Like I've seen videos growing up. I've seen videos from Afghanistan and things, but I don't think I've ever seen anybody killed in the U.S. that was that horrific visually.
yeah, I mean, for me, the only thing that even compares is like maybe Live Leak years ago when I was there and they were like showing ISIS beheadings on that. Like
That's what I mean.
that's
But that wasn't on
that's
U.S.
the only
soil, you
thing that
know.
even comes close. No, it was far away, so you can still rationalize it. Here, it's like it
Yeah.
happened, and it happened in front of his kids, it happened in front of his wife, it happened in front of his staff members. Like, that's real.
Do you know Will and his channel? Just shorten
Oh
it to
yeah,
Will.
yeah. I've watched him a lot. I think he's a really smart guy.
He's a good friend of mine, and we were talking about it. For us, when we saw it, it's like that could have been destiny. That could have been people that we've interacted with. That could have been people
Yeah,
canvassing in Ohio. So I think that there was just like a there was like a colder realization when you interact with people in the space. Granted, the big difference between him and the other people in like this part of the internet is scale. But you still kind of feel a connection there. Like I didn't like pretty much anything Charlie Kirk ever said, but there's still a kind of like an understanding of what the game is, and it felt a lot closer to home than it should for somebody that I didn't know.
I totally agree. Maybe it was because I started watching him so long ago and like really got started with that. I had honestly, I'd be honest, I hadn't consumed much of his content in years before this. I just really hadn't. Like big people aren't on my radar and so much anymore. And like I'm more into like, what's cool, what's new. But yeah, it definitely, I wouldn't say personally serious, but it did make me pause for like a whole half a day and be like, damn. And I know it affected my co-founders as well, to varying degrees. They were affected by it too. I guess it's like, when you build up that online, I don't want to get too much into this. When you see someone online, you almost start to build even if you've never interacted with them, your brain builds that rapport and
Parasocial
it makes
relationship.
them familiarize with you. Yeah, parasocial, exactly.
Yeah.
You have better terms than I do. But,
um,
but,
so you're
but yeah,
not.
the reactions, I mean, oh,
Oh,
no, go
go
ahead.
ahead. Oh well, so like you consider yourself a centrist, yeah?
I wouldn't say I'm a centrist, and I'm going to be honest, I don't think anyone is a centrist. Maybe
I
like
was gonna ask you
one
what
out
it
of a
meant.
hundred, maybe 1 out of 100 people are a true centrist. Probably less, probably 500.
I'd say
And
one out of a
out of
hundred
those,
people that
like,
call themselves a centrist.
yeah, 1 out of 100 people that call themselves centrists. It's even smaller. No, I'm firmly an independent, right? If we're going by the traditional right-left spectrum, right, I'm right on some issues and I lean left on others. That's you know
Sure.
that's kind of how it is.
Well,
But
I
I
guess
know you
the
brought
thing
up the
the thing I'm curious about is since you don't really have like a permanent home in either side, what's the reactions on both sides like for you?
I will say it's pretty disheartening to be honest. I mean, it also reinforces our mission because what we're trying to do and with our platform is to avoid things like this and to actually bridge divides. But man, like seeing people on X that are just advocating for like fascist totalitarianism, there's really no better word for it, to
Yeah,
like imprison people and like cancel cancel people, cancel licenses, like it's it's
purge
it's
the
egregious.
military.
And yeah, and seeing people on Blue Sky that are like, I'm glad he died in front of his wife and kids. It's like, are you even human? It's really tough. Like,
Yeah,
it's a bit disheartening. Now, I'm still an optimist, but it's pretty makes you think.
I find it very hard to be optimistic, and I think that this has made me more unhinged online than I've been about anything else, seeing how extreme people have been. And I think I draw the line up to I'm okay with people making jokes and memes because that's what people do. I think that's a way that people cope with horrible things in general. In the internet, it just amplifies that. But the the really nasty things people are saying, uh, people are literally celebrating him dying, which is crazy to me. Um, hey, Lethe,
Good, yeah.
people are literally celebrating it, and that's crazy. But also, I, I've never wanted to see a Republican so bad in my life, a real one. Getting people fired, purging people from the military, just generally trying to ruin people's lives for speaking. Uh, it's unbelievable to me. It is the most aggressive cancel culture movement I've ever seen, and it's from the side of freedom of speech. Comedy's legal again. Uh, that's horrifying to me, and that's more horrifying to me than people celebrating a death, because this is like I feel like this is the most un-American movement I've seen in a very, very long, maybe ever. I would be just as appalled if this was happening
Yeah.
on the left.
So you're talking about the dude that was called the N-word for showing someone Pokemon cards? That was wild. Like this dude just straight up went full Kendrick Lamar. I'm going after everything you love, everything you own. I would have been fine to forgive you after 2 N-bombs, but that third N-bomb was the line. Everything after that, I'm taking something from you.
Oh man,
Uh,
something like that.
I don't think that. Well, I guess I'm quite sure that you guys haven't met. Do you want to introduce yourselves to each other?
Nice to meet you, Bracken. I'm Lethe Water Kai. I stream on Twitch. and on YouTube. A lot less frequently lately, but I'll be back pretty soon.
Yeah, great to meet you, Lethe. I've actually seen some of your streams, and I was telling Elder before you came on, I'm like, man, is that the guy who I saw him? And I'm like, wow, this guy has really good takes, like really reasonable takes. And he's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, that's him.
I vouched.
But
I
yeah,
think I said to you too. You're one of the most reasonable people I know.
That's good notoriety. I'm not mad at that.
yeah, it's good. But yeah, I'm the co-founder of like a political live stream platform, bipartisan, trying to bring everybody on. You know, I've been a big political junkie ever since I was literally 10 years old, supporting Obama, and then really got into like the conservative YouTube movement of like 2014, 2015. But you know, nowadays I'm a bit of an independent kind of, you know, some issues one way, some issues the other, but really trying to build a home and a better place for people to discuss politics in the best medium possible, which is video.
Sounds awesome. I wouldn't mind being a part of that.
No, yeah, yeah, add me on Discord, man. We'll have to reach out after. You seem like a cool guy.
I can add him to the Discord, can't I?
Yeah, I think you can add him.
Yeah, and Lethe, I'll say they have.
Yeah, we're.
Oh yeah, dude, you.
Oh well, no, I was gonna say, you know, it's an exciting time for us. You know, we're about to relaunch in a month. We're rebranding and renaming ourselves. I don't know how public that is yet, but it's big stuff going on. So, but glad you guys are having me on. I love talking politics, you know, personally too. It's a hobby of mine.
But just so you know too, I think. Oh no, you're not in my Discord. You weren't in my Discord till recently. I'll give you permissions if you ever see me on or whatever. You can pop in.
Yeah, I'd love to. You know, I'm in all the big political discords. Love hopping in those debates when people are having them.
Stay away from Wix right now.
I know we're competing. We're competing with somebody who's taking all the viewership right now. Destiny's on Wix right now.
Ah, there you go.
I saw that. I was like, oh, I picked a bad day and time to stream. Okay.
Yeah.
So Lethe,
There's no bad time right now.
That's fair.
Really not.
What do you think about, like, I'm only on Twitter. I don't know how the other platforms are doing, but I guess Facebook's pretty fucking crazy right now too.
I mean,
in a different way. Yeah.
All I was thinking is, don't be black, don't be black, don't be black, don't be black. So I win. Either way it goes, I win.
That would be really bad right after the subway thing.
Dude, it would have been horrendous because I'm already getting all this 1350 nonsense and all the things that are being said right now about black people. So with the shootings and everything going on, I'm like, wait a minute, there's a whole different problem going on. And for some reason, black people are the problem. Hold up, wait a second. And then this happens. I'm like, at the same time, a school shooting is going on. So like,
that's true.
Yeah, same day, like, and same time zone even.
Do you guys?
That was in Colorado.
Yeah.
Yes, I think so. You guys want a hot take about this?
Please.
I think that there's a non-zero chance that it's like a psyop, like straight up. I've never given a conspiracy take in the entire time that I've streamed. The Epstein files going on. They just had all the women go and saying to Congress that Trump is on video having sex with minors, and then this happens. And as soon as this happens, Donald Trump is trying to put troops into Chicago, and they're purging the military. The purging the military is what sold me. Saying anybody in the military who celebrated the death of Charlie Kirk, I'm going to get them out. These are people with real power saying this. That's crazy to me. And if not, it is remarkably coincidental that all these pieces just happen to be moving at the same time.
It would be an extreme coincidence. I'm not going to lie. It is some insane timing. So I can't fault you for having that opinion.
And I don't know how to say this I'm just going to say it the way that it is and just understand the context of which I'm saying. That was an insanely good and clean shot from that distance. It doesn't seem like somebody with no training whatsoever makes that shot.
Well, from what's going on with what we know about this dude so far, and
Yeah.
I'm taking all of it with a grain of salt. He was raised around guns, to use guns. His father was a sheriff. His father also dimed him out.
It's true.
But this dude was deeply entrenched in gun culture already, and he knew the memes. So
Yeah.
I'm not gonna put money on what this dude's processes are, but it's looking more and more like a groyper. I don't know for sure.
Yeah, there is a complete rejection of the information that we have that's come out. So first it was this is a trans person or like and
Trans
this is the
activist.
motivation, and now it's coming out that like Republican family literally donated money to Trump. Um and I've seen zero acceptance of this whatsoever. Like the number one thing I've seen is and he got radicalized within 1 to 2 years is the rhetoric. Where if I can't imagine if somebody had been liberal their whole life, and then and then there's no room for that person to be conservative after they do something horrible.
It's pretty interesting what we're getting right now. I'm taking it all with a grain of salt because Kash Patel is terribly bad at his job.
Oh yeah, that
But
that press conference was like, what?
It's
Like,
yeah, the way that it's been handled makes me feel like it's psyop too. Like it's that there's
exactly.
so much
That's the thing.
stuff.
It's
well,
you
it's
know,
the
it's
Keystone
probably
Cops, dude.
it's probably incompetence, but incompetence looks like malice. So it's really hard to know. Like,
This is true, but all the other things that amount to bad stuff for America right now is the result of competence. Like the 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 military moving into big cities at the same time, the Epstein stuff happening, or the interviews with Congress happening. All this would read as exceptionally competent. Um, because I don't think like it's not partisan to say that there's been a lot of attempts to distract since that's been going on, right? And like
Oh, there
oh
bad
absolutely
yeah,
ones.
have.
That's not partisan
yeah.
to say. And the last one was such a reach that Trump is a FBI informant. Like literally nobody believed that. Like the straw grasping was so hard, and then like let me put it this: if you're Donald Trump, this is a miracle for you. This is not a tragedy. This is literally the best thing that could have possibly happened for you at the best possible time.
I
Like,
mean, it
can
could
we
be
agree
more
on
proof
that?
that God actually likes Trump because the last time the Epstein stuff happened, Texas flooded, then now everything's coming out again, and Charlie Kirk gets shot. Like, for some reason, the universe just keeps throwing out distractions for Donald Trump to work with. I don't know how it works.
Teflon done. I don't think they actually
At
call him that.
literally the best
But
time. Um.
I wanted to go back to that shot though that you were talking about. So I was talking to
Oh
one of my
yeah.
friends who you could say is a gun nut, right? Guy belongs to like a private range and stuff. Like he's, very very big gun guy. Um, I love him, great friend, but he's that's his hobby. He's real big into it. And he was saying that this guy was so from the the video you got of the guy with the scope on the side. He's like, that's an amateur ass scope. Was his first take, and he was saying that he thinks that neck shot was completely lucky. Obviously, you never aim for the neck. You either aim for the head or the body if we want to get a little detailed and gruesome about it. And it was only 150 meters. And what he says, like, hey, when I shoot a rifle 150 meters, it's actually going to be higher than I aim for because that's just how those large caliber rifles shoot.
Was it only
So
150 meters?
yeah, it's crazy that we can't even get the distance from where the guy shot to where Charlie was accurate. There's like 250, 200, 150. We don't even like. It's crazy that is still up for debate, but it is. I've
I
It's
I thought
either
it
like
was closer to
150 or 200.
300.
Yeah, I heard
It's either like
200.
150 or 200. It's something like that. But either way, he was saying that this guy just looks like an amateur who was aiming for center of mass to be frank, and kind of got lucky that he hit somewhere that would made this guy die really quick.
Huh.
Not crazy insights. I'm sure CNN had some experts that said the same thing. But
Wow. You're remarkably accurate
With him
with even the
from that
variance
perspective.
that's been reported. I just asked ChatGPT. It said roughly 200 yards has been reported, 142 yards and 130 yards have been reported.
Yep. Okay, that's one thing. How in the hell can we not even get that fact right? Like what is going on with our media reporting and our social media these days that we can't even like agree on an objective number? Like you could take a tape measure and measure this.
It should
Well,
have been done.
it's the reality that our current apparatus in the government is terribly inept at their job and disseminating poor information constantly ad nauseum. Like, what do you expect? So, who are they going to report from?
I guess it's,
Could be.
or they're just very focused on the response. What's more
Yes, spinning it.
lucrative? The response is a bigger story, almost more than the actual incident.
Yeah.
Um, we, I, I don't know if anything has shaken up the culture this fast to like this degree, this quickly, since like 9/11.
And that's kind of the ridiculous portion of it. Like, there haven't been a lot of attempts on right wing figures. There were two shots at Donald Trump, which is terrible. Like, I don't think anybody should be getting attacked. But you had Nancy Pelosi's husband get attacked with a hammer. You had Gretchen Whitmer being plotted against to be kidnapped. You had two lawmakers get shot pretty recently. You had, people walking into pizza places with guns looking for basements that don't exist. Like, you have all these instances, none of them polarized people the way they did this. Now all of a sudden it's war. I don't understand how we can just be so forgetful or lackadaisical about what's going on both sides.
I think that the left doesn't respond to violence the same way that the right does.
That's because
When
the
it's on
left
them.
is used to having violence put against us, which is why we tend to be on the left.
You bring up a good well, you I guess you made me think of a good broader point, elders. Like, you know what this event
Oh, you're breaking up.
maybe the more like extremes is the way they compare like speech and physical action. And I'm not talking about like your mainstream leftists, like not like more like the the blue sky crowd that like celebrating it, right? Like to them, right? Like his speech was so terrible and abhorrent to them that it rose to the level of like physical action. For them, those are morally the same.
Yes.
And like people in the center and the right like feel totally opposite on that, especially in the right. Like this is a fundamental difference between sides. Now, obviously, there's people in the middle. There's a spectrum. I'm not trying to overgeneralize, but I just didn't realize how wide that gulf has become, especially between the extremes.
I agree. Well, the other interesting thing about it to me is that it is none of the response on the right, pardon me, that I've seen has lacked hypocrisy. It is Charlie
Yeah.
Kirk got shot for sharing his opinions, and now I want to be violent to you for sharing your opinion. It is as if every person who said anything that they don't like about Charlie Kirk is the one that shot him,
I know.
which is
And
it's I've never seen rage like this. So
yeah.
contagious, so directed, so misdirected. Is anybody even calling for the people who are in charge of security at the university to have anything done to them? Like, you at least lose your job,
No.
yeah.
Well, that's hard to do. It's easy to yell at somebody on Twitter.
Um, but they're not just yelling; they're getting people fired.
That's true. Yeah, they're calling people's jobs.
The
It
first
is
person that
really
needs to be
interesting.
fired is the security at that
I know.
university.
It is wild, like you said. We went from like the like what they what was called like the woke mob on the left trying to get people canceled over like COVID stuff to now it's almost like a woke mob on the right trying to get people canceled over this. Now, to be fair, I've seen a wide range. Like some people are trying to get people canceled for saying something stupid, like mentioning like, oh, Charlie said like deaths are okay due to the Second Amendment, so that's okay. Like that's ridiculous. Now there were some people who genuinely said terrible things. I'm not a believer in canceling either way, but I guess we can make a little bit of a distinction.
Uh, so I think that it's inevitable that people are going to make jokes about the irony. That's
Oh
how
yeah,
culture works. Period.
yeah,
It would be weirder if
that's,
nobody did. It'd be
yeah.
more unsettling if nobody did, honestly. Um. Oh, we're losing you.
Yep. Internet's going wonkers.
Could you repeat what you said?
Oh, I was just saying, humor's a great way to process things. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people on the left who make it, not all of them, certainly some of the people on the left are spewing hate for sure. But I think some of the people that are making memes, that's just how you deal with it. That's how you deal with every bad thing that happens. And when you're online a lot, you just make some memes about it. I made a meme about it. Um,
What was the meme?
I'll put it in the chat. Hang on, I'll grab it off of Twitter. It is inspired by what I used to have the same one of Paul Walker as my Skype profile picture for like 10 years.
Bruh.
I gotta grab it off of my replies.
Like, when it came down to this, like, I was like, at least let the body get cold, let the family have a moment to grieve. Like, give it a day before we start going in on
There
the
you
things
go.
that this dude said that could make people not like him. And then by the very next morning, I was pointing out all the things this dude said that made people not like him. Oh, damn.
It was
Oh,
it was for me to
that's
react
bad,
to
Elder.
people making good memes.
That's bad, Elder.
But you did both laugh. Even if it was an uncomfortable laugh.
Oh, it was an uncomfortable laugh.
It's funny. Either way you spin it, it's funny. It is.
Lethe
I
knows
find
that
it
I have a
ironic.
dark sense of humor. But it did
Oh,
come
yeah.
from a place of humor.
I'm finding it ironic that the dude that said that civil rights was a bad idea is getting the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
Oh my god. Oh my god, the rewriting of him is insane. It is
Yeah.
unbelievable. I have never seen anybody like this incident has caused so many extremes. I'm not being hyperbolic every time I say I've never seen something like this before. I've never seen somebody get elevated to a state that like nobody is worthy of the kinds of rewriting that he's gotten. It's so crazy. And if he really was half as good as you say, then just talk about him the way he was. Why do you have to change it? If he was that good of a guy, don't change it. You're like dishonoring his memory by changing it and saying that he wasn't one for open debate. He was one for set up, hyped up debate where he would cut people off to dunk on them who were way less prepared than him. That's the format. And like, that's fine. But to say that he was like this arbiter of open conversation, that's crazy. Is Steven Crowder then? Like, what the fuck are we
Nah,
talking
Steven Crowder's
about?
definitely a little worse. Even.
He is the closest person I can think of to Charlie Kirk in the political arena.
Yeah.
And,
No, I'd
like,
agree with that.
by format.
Yeah. He's a little less like subtle or like, kind of good at hiding it. But no, you're right, man. I mean, like, don't get me wrong, Charlie was about debating people, but they weren't always fair matchups. And he didn't necessarily use it for good reasons.
Debate, sure, loosely, but not open debate. He wasn't there to have open discourse with people that he disagreed with. He was there to monetize on aggressively shutting people down.
Yeah, it's not like would he
And
have
he's great
changed
at
his
it.
mind from any of these? Oh, he's great at it. Would he have changed his mind from any of these takes? Like,
That's never the objective.
no, no, he wouldn't have, to be honest. And that's a hallmark of debate, right? Like, you have to be willing to adjust your positions if you hear something that's like, oh, I missed that.
Yeah, we used to have a name for it. That's what blood sports were, and he was one of the few people still doing the blood sports thing. It's sort of fallen out of vogue in like this scale in space. But that's when you can do it and draw a crowd doing it. That's what gets the good clips and stuff. That's what made Ben Shapiro big. That's what made him big, and they just get to roll with it more. Although Shapiro has gotten a little bit more like suit and tie about it. It's like a bit more of a classy affair now, I would say.
Yeah, he's a
I
platform.
don't.
Even. It's like it's completely different.
You say he's what platform? You broke up a little.
He's off in his own like walled garden. You know, he's got it.
Oh,
He's got the Daily Wire. I mean, it's
yeah. Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro talks to who he wants to.
yeah, even more so than Kirk or Crowder. They're still at least like
Yeah,
public forum, right? Like YouTube stuff.
that's
Don't get me
true.
wrong; they both have their problems, but
I just watched a video where he got lit up. Kirk got lit up by some lady. So there's not no room for him to like
no.
be in a position to lose or get shut down. This this feminist lady like shut him down hard. That was the last thing I seen of him. It was like maybe 3 weeks ago, if that. So I still kind of kept
Yeah, it's
up.
just choreographed. It's just choreographed.
And that's
By the
what
way,
I did. Go ahead.
oh, sorry. I was just gonna say I've loved talking to y'all. I apologize that I gotta hop off tonight, but Lethe, it was awesome to meet you, man. I'll
Great
add you
as
on the
well.
Discord. Would love to continue talking, and enjoy the rest of the stream, guys. I'd love to be invited back on someday. Thought we had a
Anytime
good
you
talk.
you have perms,
Would
you
have
can
led.
hop in anytime you want now.
Awesome. Thanks so much, guys. Have a great night.
Take it easy. Um. Oh yeah.
So yeah, with people like this, like I refuse to debate them unless I can actually hold their feet to the fire. So being in like a multi-room panel, I feel is a terrible idea when having people like this on because they'll push a talking point and will never get held to task on it.
Yeah. I didn't invite you on here to pump you up, but the thing that I liked about being on your show and your style of moderation is that you made room for people that were trying to make real arguments. And if somebody got overtalked, you would let it if they weren't saying shit. And that's the only reason why you would let it. Otherwise, you would butt in. You had a very good moderation style. Because some people would just keep talking because they wanted that time. And if they got overtalked, you're like, okay, cool, it fixed itself.
You caught that. The problem will usually fix itself, but when it doesn't, sometimes you got to step in on that. But
And
I was
I
starting to
know
see
because
it
you
didn't
saved
matter
me.
anymore.
You saved me from being overtalked because I wouldn't talk on your shit unless I had something to say. And if somebody tried to be like, "Oh, I want to let Drazi finish," and then you can say something. So that's something I picked up on. And if I'm on other shows and I'm making a point, and somebody's over talking me, that's just usually what it's gonna be. Whoever has the bigger audience has the bigger mic.
And like when it comes down to these panel shows, like it literally usually when people have something important to say, they're the people talking the least. Whereas the person making the wildest claims and trying to backpedal and dance is going to talk the most. And you got to shut that down at some point. But that's
I
also
agree.
part of the problem because you bring on people you hope that can defend or actually attack these bad ideas. And sometimes they don't have the best weapons to do so. And it's unfortunate.
I agree.
I won $20 the other day in a chat dispute where a dude said, black people commit 50% of the violent crime. I said, I don't believe you. And he said, well, why don't you believe me? Because that number doesn't sound right. So you go ahead and tell me where you're getting this number from. And he sent me all the things I already knew he was going to send me. I debunked them. And he sat there for 3 days arguing about why he was correct and why arrests are just as good as convictions and all these different things. And I'm like, bruh, all you're saying is there's institutional racism. Like, you're not giving me anything that's going to work for you. And it took him 3 days to admit that I was right and that he used the wrong word, and he paid me my $20.
Oh wow, that's impressive. I just had I found out was it 2 days ago that my mom was a fan of Charlie Kirk, and I was like, Mom, the thing that I like the best about your parenting is you raised me to be very liberal. I remember when I was 13 years old, and I'm 36 now for reference. So 26 years ago, my mom explained to me what trans people were and how we're supposed to accept them. She was way ahead of the curve. And to
Make it
hear her
make
say that she
sense.
was a big fan, Yeah, and I said, well, he said like a lot of like really bigoted things. Like he said a lot of anti-gay things and a lot of anti-Semitic things, a lot of racist things. And she said, well, I don't believe that. I said, that's okay. You don't have to believe it. I wasn't giving you my opinion. Like this is what happened.
There are clips. There's
Yeah,
reality.
like you don't. Your belief is irrelevant.
That's rough. Yeah, I had to
It
do that with
shocked
my
me.
aunt when I told her, well, Candace is an idiot. She said that dinosaurs are fake and gay. And I was like, and gay? Like fake, sure. Whatever. You can be that dumb, but and gay, why do we have to get and gay? Like these people say the wildest things and like their viewership ignores it.
True. Yeah. Um, and I think that. So I was talk before you got here. I was talking to our other guest about how conservatives have done a really good job in frontward facing accepting gay people while still having homophobic ideology that they just don't. It's the kind of thing where like they don't act on it. In fact, they'll push back against homophobia. But when you have somebody who's making your homophobic points, support them. If there's a chance to enact policy against gay people, we will support that. But the example I used that if there's somebody in your church, and even if you fully hate gay people and they are homophobic in the church, you call them out because you don't want to be the homophobic person. Because if you let it slide, there's a risk in you letting it go on, even though you agree with them. They understood how to play the game and adapt to the culture in a way that made their losses over the last like 20 years work for them.
And that's kind of why you end up with people that are working against their own self-interest and the self-interest of people that are like them because they want to stay a part of this particular grouping. I haven't been able to wrap my head around it, but I've been focusing on it a lot more, especially like Black conservatives. I've been paying attention to a lot more lately. Then you have LGBTQ members that are pushing for the right-wing policies and things, and it's like you understand you're just hurting yourself. And once everything that you're pushing for gets enacted, you're going to be the one on the back foot, scrambling, asking for help.
Do do you know any black conservatives in real life?
Yeah, my aunt's a hardcore MAGA Trumper.
So I have a few friends that are black conservatives, and the reason I think that him and his brother are that way, and when I talk to them and I engage with them about political points, he'll always be like, "You're right." He like folds on it, but then like as soon as we're done talking, he'll revert right back to it. He grew up around white people, and when he moved to like a big city, and he just didn't jive with the black people in that area. He didn't grow up around black culture. Like was aware of it through media and stuff, but like didn't. He wasn't down with how they expected him to behave. He didn't like how they were behaving, and I think it just created such a rift for him, to where he's like, I ain't trying to deal with this. Like these aren't my people, and like got mad at black people for it. That's what it seemed like to me.
It seems like an internalized self-hatred and also a want for acceptance and thinking that if I reject these things and I conform to the society I want to be a part of, I'm going to be accepted, not realizing that's never going to be the case. So you can call out whatever you want to call out in the black community. That's fine. It's not going to make you more or less a part of another society. Let that
All
go.
all of my so it was a really rural area, and all my black friends when I was in school sort of had to adapt. Like my the one buddy I'm talking about, he had a slew of racist nicknames that he like fully embraced. Um, and to be fair, like all the people in our group of friends, like we're gonna make fun of you for whatever you're different about. And I remember my first wife was with me. She was just hanging out while me, him, our other friends were playing basketball, and I was making racist jokes. And at the time, I have a half black stepson, so she's getting fucking pissed. And my buddy like just like fumbled the ball. He's like, "You have the best racist jokes, I swear to God." And I was like, "You can't be mad at me." He's laughing, like he knows where I stand. But like in that area, if you're black, my friend Jay, his friends would call him Black Jay, and everybody who wasn't his friend called him N-word Jay. That was his name, and he never bitched about it. And so my friends that grew up in that area seem to be a lot more conservative than any of the black friends I've made anywhere else. So that's the best way I can wrap my head around how you get staunch black conservatives.
Yeah, but
You
then you
just
see what happens. Did you see what happened with Myron, the dude from Fresh and Fit?
uh, I'm trying to think if I seen what happened to him. I this in like the last 2-3 weeks.
No, this is like, I want to say over a year ago, but
Oh,
it's still
okay.
happening because he did the whole thing with Fuentes and like, you know, making monkey noises and then with the
Oh yeah,
KKK
yeah, yeah,
hoods.
yeah.
So then he was hanging
Didn't
out
he
in
get
white Twitter
demonetized?
spaces. Oh yeah, he definitely did.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Then he went
remember.
in white Twitter spaces and they told him like, yeah, you know, we appreciate everything you've done for us, but you know, when we get what we want you to leave too. That's what they don't get is they're sitting there pulling this nonsense thinking they're accepted by these groups. These groups are like, yeah, but once we get what we want you to be gone as well, just to let you know. And then I think it was a few weeks ago, the Hodge twins were trying to tweet at the guy that made the all white community in Arkansas, like, hey, we're only, you know, we're like 40% black, we're mostly white, and we're not even sub-Saharan. You know, think we can join your communities? Like, we love the Hodge twins, but no, we don't want you here.
These people, they're Miloing. And
What
I
is
say it that way
Milo?
because I think it's I don't think it comes from a genuine place in this space. I think it comes from a place of wanting clout wherever you can get it. Um, so just to pivot a bit here, this is something that I thought about and I tweeted about. Do you think that anybody's making accounts of people that they hate and cheering for Charlie Kirk's death as a way to get those people fired and attacked? Because it wouldn't take a whole
Oh,
lot of work.
I mean, if you thought of it, somebody else thought of it. And it's probably happened a couple times.
I think it's worth thinking about when people are doing this because I know that people are digging to find the dirt and they're not digging to find anything else. They're not trying to verify anything. They're just putting screenshots of Facebook and shit up. Hit Instagram. Um, and I think that whatever message you think you have is seriously hurt by the way that they're carrying it out.
No, I agree. I don't think this is a canceled moment, but people are so hurt and devastated. They're all lashing out in different directions, and how it's going to be handled in the future is going to be very interesting because this could lead to lawsuits, all sorts of different problems. Um, yeah, people getting doxxed over things that they say in regards to this, kind of bonkers.
Yeah. Um, and like, I'm even surprised. Like, are you? I like never see you on Twitter. Are you on Twitter?
I'm on Twitter, but I don't use Twitter because I'm bad at social media.
Gotcha. Even Rob Noor has gotten like 50% more extreme. Just when
Bob
you thought it
Noor
could get
has
any
been
worse.
wild.
Um, I do. How long do you think it takes for this to die down? Because like I'm genuinely losing my mind. You said you're not on Twitter a lot. I have been the most vitriolic I've been. I just can't take it on both sides. Everybody's making me lose my goddamn mind, dude.
I wanted to ignore this so bad, but at the same time, it's such a tipping point in what's going on that it's going to change the way we interact with each other for, I want to say, months, possibly years to come. And that really depends on what the White House decides to do in regards to this. Because we can sit here in the Twitter spaces and all that and complain and talk shit. But if the president decides to ramp it up and actually do things, we're going to be in a world of hurt.
Well, they're not starting off good.
I'm actually very nervous about what's going to happen, and I would rather not feed into what's going on. I really want to just wait until we get all the facts. It's just Kash Patel sucks so bad at his job before making any real comments, because like immediately as soon as it happened, people were like, "You leftist." Da, 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 da." I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. We don't know that this person was a leftist. We don't know what this person's motivations were. You're already screaming at the other side and calling for war. And I think the night it happened, Prime had a panel and had Gibbs on. And Gibbs, of course, was the first one to say, "Oh, well, war." I'm like, bruh, no.
I I I don't believe him. I think Gibbs is a character, dude. There was one time before I went on your show and we were in the waiting room and I seen that he had a bunch of Star Wars shit on his shelf and I'm like, dude, you're a fan of Star Wars, like how are you siding with the fucking Empire every time you're on anything? This doesn't make any fucking sense. And then he had to go like, yeah, I like Darth Vader. I'm like, shut up, dude. You're a fucking grifter nerd. That's what you are, dude. You're actually just a fucking nerd. You love the fucking rebellion. That's why you Darth Vader's in how many of them books? Not as many. That's not the main storyline in them 35, 40 books you got over there. Lord of the Rings, all the stuff that he likes is about the small taking up over the big oppression. Like all the stuff that he likes is crazy. I don't understand him. And in any other way than him going online and playing a character.
I don't know, because I've talked to him, off camera and, personally. Some of it seems like it's, WWE persona, but a lot of it deep down is just he's a selfish motherfucker. So I can see him unironically siding with the Empire. I can see him thinking that Starship Troopers.
If they come to his house, sure, but I think that I can't believe it otherwise.
Like, I think he was unironically like not seeing the satire in Starship Troopers. I don't believe he reads.
You think he just likes to collect the books?
Oh, absolutely. It's just these are all nerd clout for him, and he can, claim gaming this and I like this, but really he just vibes all the way through and says the craziest things possible.
He's the guy with a Metallica shirt that can't name a song?
That's exactly what it is. Because he missed the moral of the story all the way around. If you ask him to explain any of these storylines, he's completely out of his depth. Like, there's no point.
Oh, that makes me sad, dude.
Yeah.
I was able to like him a lot more when I think it's a character.
I mean, I wouldn't say 20% of it is, but
Just
I also
an exaggerated
think
version of himself.
He gets high off his own farts pretty often. So
I don't like that.
Like, dude gets caught up in his own hype pretty often and ends up on a line that he himself can't defend. And he's going to be the primary person taking up all the air in the room, trying to reframe whatever he's saying to make it make sense.
Jesus Christ. What do you expect the response to those response to? So we see what the right's response is, and there hasn't really been a massive left response other than going like, you guys don't know what you're talking about. You guys are targeting everybody who's not like a MAGA Republican. What do you think the response of the left is going to be? Because I feel like the left is being equally radicalized. We just haven't seen the full force of that yet.
I mean, you don't really tend to see left-wing violence like this. It tends to be radical activism or like something against a government body versus like attacking people straight up. They like to use like Luigi Mangione as like the prime suspect of like leftist violence, which I don't even agree with that. I think it was like literally a beef with a system that harmed him, but that's neither here nor there. When it comes to the left, I think they're just going to meme about what happened to Charlie, and it's going to piss off the right more because for some reason we have to empathize with this person that said empathy is a leftist plot.
Yeah.
And so because we're not sad enough, they're just going to be more angry. And I don't see any reason why people on the left should truly be sad for anything beyond now his kids have to grow up without a father, and that sucks.
I mean, I think that there's like the first thing that I said about it was my initial reaction. The first thing I felt when I saw the video was sad. I don't think you were here yet. I talked about because I'm just so bad with names. What's his? Did you catch his name?
Becton?
What? How do you say it?
Becton?
Becton.
The
There
guy
we
that
go.
was just
Thank
here?
you. Yeah, I can't read anybody's name because I'm in streamer mode. Um, it. I talked to Will in his channel about it, and there was just this feeling like it was so close to home because that could have been Destiny. That could have been anybody at like the Ohio event for the canvassing. Um, like that could have been me or Will going to one of those events and just being caught in the crossfire. It just felt so real that the thing that we do, like he has scale over everybody in this space, but like we all play in the same game, and so it's not like it was just some. It wasn't like a politician this happened to. This wasn't a CEO. This was somebody who's in the same arena, and it just felt really real, and it made me sad. I don't like the fucking guy. But like, it could have just as easily been. It could have just as easily been happening in to somebody on our side. It could have just as easily happened to anybody in this space, and it's just fucking weird. And it just and I've never felt like that seeing somebody. I've seen a lot of death on the internet, and that was the worst one I've seen on U.S. soil.
Somebody sent me the video, and I was like, bro, you can warn me before you send me a snuff film. I did not expect to see that because I had just heard, what happened, and I was like, well, I heard he was shot in the neck, so like maybe he'll pull through. I hadn't seen the video yet. Seeing the video, I instantly was like, no, he's gone. That's a wrap. But like,
Yeah.
it's very visceral what happened in that moment. And you're not wrong. And I think Destiny also is currently fighting with this idea that this shit could be me at any event I go to. All it will
Yeah.
really take is kind of like the second Trump shooter who was like, I really didn't care if it was Trump. It could have been like any lawmaker. I was aiming to shoot somebody important. Like it didn't matter who it was going to be. He just happened to be there.
Right.
That's the way we're going right now.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I'm repeating stuff from earlier. Every person that I've talked about it, I say, did you see the video? Because I'm like, if you haven't, don't watch it. It's
No.
not good.
I did not post that around. I gave it to like Jack. I sent it to him because he was like, oh, I think Charlie's going to pull through. I'm like, bro, take a look at this. I don't think he's pulling through. Like I've only sent it to one person.
As soon as you see it, like, he's dead. You know it. It is truly gruesome and horrific. I almost said heroic by mistake.
Black
That
people
would've
are
been a
kind of
bad
being assholes
step.
about this right now, though.
You what?
Black people are kind of being assholes about this right now, though.
A lot of people are being assholes about it, and like, make memes, make jokes. That's fine. I think that the only person I think I've ever celebrated the death of is it David Rockefeller
Oh, right.
at
on.
like
I
99
chose
or
my
like
one.
105?
I chose my one, and it was what's his name, Kissinger. I'm like, I get to laugh when Kissinger dies. Like, I don't give a fuck. I don't care what anybody says. Fuck that guy. I can't wait for him to go.
That's a fair one. For me, Rockefeller is just so. There's not a greater legacy of evil that's still going, dude. Like
Not
pure
wrong.
evil, funded both sides of World War II, just like literal blood money. getting like 6 heart transplants to make it another fucking 1 year. It's just the most disgusting example of what corrupt humanity is capable of. It's just bad.
I hadn't really considered it that far, but yeah, you make a pretty fine point. He is deserving of ire to the degree that you should give zero fucks when he dies, and you should pray for it to come faster.
And if there's anything resembling the Illuminati, that's it. That's the
That's the
guy.
dude.
Yes. However close you think we get to that, that's him.
But yeah, black people are basically saying we get to talk about Charlie Kirk like y'all talked about George Floyd for like the duration.
Weird comparison to make.
That's basically what like the black community is doing at this point. They're like, oh, it wasn't the bullet that got Charlie, it was the fentanyl.
I saw that. That one. It wasn't the worst joke.
There are far
But
worse. I mean, when it comes to the black community, we're probably the least problematic when it comes down to things like this. It's mostly just we're tired of being fucked with. We're gonna shit on some people right now.
Sure, I would say I think it's ill-advised because the people you're pissing off already don't like you.
And we've seen what they're capable of, so I'm gonna leave that alone.
It's like, hey, I get it, but I wouldn't.
I'm not the one doing it, but I am definitely gonna put a laughing emoji on every single one of them I see.
I don't. I. I keep. I can't stop engaging with everything that I'm seeing, but I can't. The thing that I keep coming back to is like how. I don't know how much more extreme people can get at this point. Like if you're, I would say that getting somebody fired with the intent to get them fired, that's violence.
Yeah.
That's more violent than I would say it's more violent than if I pull a gun out of you and take all the money out of your wallet. Because that's like me coming back every week and taking money out of all the money out of your wallet again. It's violence.
It's a huge threat. It's a huge threat. Like to have your livelihood stripped from you just because you made a comment on the internet is pretty extreme. And it, like I said, this whole thing is going to change the way we interact with each other for the foreseeable future. I can't say how long it's going to be. I'm hoping it dies down within a few months, but it depends on the rhetoric coming from who people are listening to.
I'm very worried that the speech policing doesn't end with Charlie Kirk now.
No, absolutely doesn't.
I think that the threshold for comments will get lower and lower insofar as what will lead to a call to action.
That's kind of part of the issue. I was listening to Wix and I keep making these mistakes and I need to stop doing it, but I can't help myself. There was a dude on there basically saying that calling right-wingers fascists is a call to action. And immediately in my head, it's like, wait, does this person lack object permanence? Does he like, think shit is brand new every time he takes his eyes off of it, or things disappear when he's not looking at them? The fuck's going on? I'm like, literally on the debate stage, Donald Trump in a live debate against Kamala Harris said that she's a communist and her father's a communist.
Yes.
The only two people I know of that are lawmakers that have called Donald Trump a Nazi have been J.D. Vance and RFK.
This is true. This is true.
So this isn't necessarily us doing it, but yet for some reason they can say it and it's not a call to action. But if somebody says it and it's accurate, it's a call to action for their side. The fuck's going on?
Well, when I say a call to action, I mean literally. There are calls to action to get people fired and removed from their jobs. Like this is political violence as well, and I'm afraid that say a week from now, when this isn't as big, what's to say that criticizing Trump doesn't result in the same thing?
Yeah, I don't think we're too far from that. They're getting more and more sensitive, and that's why I was bringing up that whole thing on Wix. These people seem extremely sensitive to exactly the same things that they and the people they like are doing. but for some reason it doesn't hit them the same way. But when it comes at them, it's like a shot, like ringing throughout their entire body. It's crazy. So I
It's
see them
always
getting
been
more
the
sensitive.
case. It's always been the case that the right is way more sensitive and way more reactive than the left is. But we've never had such a long period of them being charged like this. And I mean, it's not, it's it's coming from within. I wouldn't say like it happens on the left too. Both sides are, they're just charging themselves up against the other side, even regardless of what the other side's doing. And I don't know that if we, how that we've gotten, since we've gotten here, if we can. I don't know how this gets diffused. People on the right are seeing their capacity to cause the change they want, which is to stick it to the lefties, and now they're realizing that they can hurt them. And I don't see people on the left. Well, people on the left did it to a lesser degree. You had to do something. You had to be. It started off a lot better. Like people got like fired and things for like sexual assault is when it was probably the most prevalent, because that was more prevalent action. I didn't agree with people getting fired from their jobs for being bigoted or whatever. Or when I say or whatever, I mean extending out further to however you want to drag out bigotry to include people being awful shitty people. We did have a little bit of a phase there where somebody saying a racial slur was a bigger social stain than somebody being a murderer who got released from prison. Like if I made a video and like if in this conversation, let's say this is like 4 years ago, if I called you the N-word, I'd have a harder time getting a job than somebody who literally killed somebody and was out and just got out of prison. You know what I mean? Which seemed crazy to me. That's where the left's priorities were. But I think that the bar has never been this low, and I think it can go lower, and that's what I'm really afraid of.
Oh, speaking of, one of my black homies just sent me this.
Oh no. That's pretty good. I like that.
We're gonna be acting an ass for a minute.
Shit, half of that made it on the screen.
Oh, like I'm not saying any of this is funny, but like we gotta cope one way or another. So you know we're doing it as we can.
I agree, and that's where I'm accepting of people making jokes. I think if you're not brain dead, it's pretty obvious who's full of hate and who's making jokes.
Yeah, actual intent.
That's always been the case too. There's a reason why my buddy laughed when I made racist jokes while we were playing basketball. You know when somebody's being silly, and you know when somebody's being full of hate, and I think that being silly might get you fired for the next couple days at least.
Oh, that's exactly where we're at. So like actual hateful people, yeah, if a job doesn't want you there because you're actually hateful and you're actually harming their business, I can see that being reasonable. But because you made an off-color statement or something, said something messed up that people took a certain kind of way, and it's not affecting your job or what you're doing, I don't think you should be fired for that. And I think a lot of people get ramped up in like, TikTok spaces and stuff and like trying to out the racists or whatever they're doing. I think this is deeply problematic to society and it shouldn't be happening. Like, they'll make a video on TikTok. Anybody in this area know who this is? We're gonna find out where they work. We're gonna find out. Like, oh God, please stop. This is so cringe.
Uh, yeah, if do you think I kind of didn't want to say it. I guess I'm also pretty freaked out at the idea that we just see like massive violence like as a response, and then in response to that with violence, like it's I, I've never felt like there could actually be a civil war until now.
It's been brewing for a minute. Like once January 6th happened, I pretty much saw it as being on the table. But violence, as they say, only begats violence. Hate only begats hate. So if we keep feeding the engine, it's going to produce what it produces.
The response does seem stronger than January 6th here.
It's just going to get worse. And I was going to do a panel, and I've been trying to like figure out how to shop it out. This was like right before Trump got elected. Why is everything political? Like, I know when I was growing up, everything wasn't a political thing. Now
I agree.
everything literally has to be tied to politics in one way or another. And I think this is like why our brains are wired for everything being partisan at this point. It's kind of insane.
I agree. It it hit me that it wasn't just the internet. I was pulling cables for a new construction school, and I was just talking to this guy about gas prices because we had to drive 45 minutes to the job site. And he goes, "You're a fucking dumb, ain't you?" I'm like, "Bro, I didn't say shit. I didn't say shit about politics. I'm at work." It's so crazy to me. I'm like leaning across on a ladder, waiting for him to hand me a group of wires, and he hits me with that, and I was just like, "I don't talk about that stuff at work, dude." And I was like, "What the fuck just happened?" He was mad at me for what he correctly assumed, but I just talking about gas prices because it's fucking sucked.
It's always about which way you lean, even in conversations with family. Like, Thanksgiving dinner hasn't been more polarized than it is today at probably any time in America. It's freaking ridiculous.
That's true. Uh, maybe maybe Thanksgiving was uh, close to being as tense when gay rights picked up a lot, and a lot of people started coming out because it's a little bit more personal. But I think that's the closest we've been. Um,
And
I
that's
guess
nothing like this.
I really thought that things couldn't get this ugly, and I'm not just talking about people on Twitter. I'm talking about the military invasion of cities. I'm talking about well, I guess I am talking about people getting fired when it's the military. That to me is trumps all the people getting fired from their jobs, getting rid of people out of the military like that. Um, I don't trust the oversight there. Do you?
No, not in the slightest.
If you start that, what's to stop people from getting booted from the military for disagreeing with, like posting a clip of Charlie Kirk 2 years ago and saying like, "Fuck this guy," for him giving a horrendous take that they disagreed with. Um, it's a way to radicalize the military, which we're sending to our cities illegally.
Yeah, I'm here in California. I literally was, I went to lunch with a buddy of mine. He's in Paramount, and that was like on the edge of where a lot of things were going. So as we're getting on the freeway, there's a Home Depot right next to the freeway entrance. And across the street from that Home Depot was two parking lots that look like, business parks. They have porta potties, and it's just a bunch of armed military. I want to believe it was the National Guard just sitting there doing absolutely nothing, sweating in the sun in full gear, fully armed across the street from the Home Depot. I'm like, this is my tax dollars at work. Amazing. Could
If
one
you
of these
want,
people be a conscientious fucking.
if you wanted to not give up power, having the military in all the major cities seems like a good way to do it. Today when I was at work, I just kind of had this bad feeling of like there's an unprecedented mobilized power shift that we've never seen here, and it doesn't feel like it feels like every other time a country goes sour and somebody tries to seize power, and given this administration's history, I'm getting super nervous about it. You know, I think that this is one of the best examples of not letting a tragedy go to waste. So even if you don't, if you want to take conspiracy out of it, this is certainly a very good time to purge the opposition from a lot of levels of government. I seen somebody in government earlier. I knew if they were a congressman or a senator or whatever when I read it, saying that the Democratic Party needs to be labeled a terrorist organization.
I saw that.
Isn't that's how this happens? That's how power gets taken away. That's how the power system falls to a more malevolent structure. Because it's not, we're not arguing anymore. These aren't words. These are actionable things from people in a position to take it. And I think that it's getting muddied in with all the other chaos that's going on very well. And the people, the culture spoke when they elected Donald Trump again, and they're pretty diehard. So they have, if it goes to happen, all they have to do is say the right words to get people on board. How many times in the last 12 years have we heard, well, that's not actually what he's doing, and then he does it?
I just heard that, what, an hour ago?
Yeah, it freaks me out, and I don't think that this sounds very conspiratorial because it's what's being said by people with the means to do it. I think that Charlie Kirk aside, that people should be worried about the power structure of the country right now because they're jumping on it.
No, absolutely. That's something I've been saying to people pretty regularly. I don't care what some jackass on Twitter or YouTube or whatever is saying. It's when the people that actually have power, actual lawmakers, start saying similar things that I start getting nervous. So if it was actual Democrat lawmakers saying what I see leftists on Twitter saying, I'd be like, "Woo, we need to hold up for a second and
Yes.
reevaluate this," because these people can actually enact these things. And then they're comparing the rhetoric coming from the current administration to things that people are saying online. And I'm like, but this dude actually, in his first 4 years, did the things that you said he wasn't going to do and that he was just joking.
Yep.
He's already lining up to do the things that he said he was going to do this time around. And in less than a year, he's done a good chunk of it. At what point are we going to take this man at his word?
Yeah. Well, in this time too, he has the people behind him to make him effective. In his first term, he wasn't able to get a whole lot done. The most effective he was fucking us over for COVID. And beyond that, he had a lot of people in the right places to stop him from being as destructive as he could have been. But this time, they were ready to go.
But we saw that he was actively trying to do those things. And that's the point. Whether he could
just
do it or
wasn't very
not.
effective. But this time he's got the courts. He's got politically effective, politically strategic people on his side this time. And he's been getting pretty much everything that he wants. So yeah, no matter how far-fetched it seems, I think that we need to, and not just take him at his word, but take the rhetoric of, take the demands of the people in positions of power right now very seriously. Because the government also has never moved this fast in our lifetime. In passing, well, a lot of it's executive orders. But in enacting change, they're doing it.
Yeah, I have been pretty sad to see so many people wanting some form of authoritarianism in this country because it's so antithetical to American values. America has always been an anti-authoritarian space, except for in instances in which there's a war or there's some sort of played up media thing like the crack epidemic. That's when people tend to want some authoritarianism to come in, like, hey, we need to put these people in jail. But now the rhetoric coming from the news media is basically calling everything some sort of a war, some sort of an attack. They're creating pretense to do authoritarian things, and people aren't being critically analytical as to the actual state of affairs going on in America, to the point where they're just agreeing and want to give up their rights, want to give up any semblance of freedom in this country over these things. And like, I've been watching more Andrew Wilson things as he's sitting here arguing for Christian authoritarianism, and he's having debates with people about Christian nationalism and why we should have these authoritarian ideas in place. And it's alarming how many people agree with and fight the same battle on his side.
Thank you. You just reminded me. I was doing a series called "Why Is Andrew Wilson Like That?" Um, before a lot of bad stuff happened in my life and I had to take a break. The first one is one of my biggest streams. I think I had like over 12K views on it in like 3 days, or sorry, 1.2K views on it in like 3 days. Because he practices a perversion of debate. It's not debate, and I debated him, and so insofar as you can win against Andrew Wilson, I won. He just said he didn't get me on a single thing. He said, "Well, I think you're crazy," and he left. And he had 3 other people that could jump in, and I had nobody else. And this is before I talked. He was actually one of the first people in this space that had any kind of audience that I really talked to, that wasn't calling into the hotline. Um, and somebody recently just re-uploaded my debate with him with better audio, because I didn't know what I had shitty like headset mic and shit. It was bad. The audio was garbage, but they re-uploaded it with better audio. I know how his shit works. I know the logic tree, the pre-axiomatic bullshit stuff that he does to just win. And my series was essentially watching him debate, saying what he was going to do, watch him do it, and then explain how you beat him in that argument. Because it's not real debate.
Oh,
He doesn't
it's a
even take a
philosophy.
position. He just attacks your position without giving one. And he attacks it by asking you if you believe in God, and if you don't, then you can't hold a position on anything.
Exactly. It's what do you call it? Hard solipsism, but in different forms. So like, if you don't agree to not being in line with hard solipsism, well then how do you have any idea of anything that you're doing? How do you know where your thoughts come from if you don't believe in a God? And that whole thing is rooted in like a divine command theory of ridiculousness.
Yeah. I fortunately for me, like 2 years before I really entered this space, I debated Darth Dawkins, uh,
Ooh,
and and I won the second time. I'm on his list, and so Darth Dawkins is the more extreme version of Andrew Wilson, um, and because I had that, I had the tools ready to go to work around that fucking nonsense,
precept apologetics. That is rough.
dude. The king of it, really.
He
And
is
if
the
you
final boss of precepts.
somebody woke me up. I was up for 23 hours. I slept for an hour and I got a message, "Do you want to debate Darth Dawkins?" And I just wasn't prepared for the steamrolly behavior. And then the next day I was in the Discord talking and he jumped in and started arguing with me. So I was like, "Oh, I slept. Let's go." Not only did I sleep, I also reviewed Destiny debating him too. Um which just gave me a little bit more lead in the pencil to not let him overtalk me. Um, and yeah, it went a lot better that time around.
They say that that term originated with him, and that's why people use it.
What?
Overtalk.
Oh, Darth Dawkins. That's so funny. I don't mean to go off on a Darth Dawkins tangent, but I looked up his Wikipedia to explain to my now ex-wife who he was, and there's a video on there, and I clicked it, and these people talking about engaging with a narcissist, and I it was on his Wikipedia page, so I thought it was about him, and I was like, wow, this is like, yeah, like I guess these people have talked to him. I don't know what this is, and when I exited out of it, and it was like the YouTube video screen on the Wikipedia, it was dealing with a narcissist was the title of it. It wasn't about Darth Dawkins, but it was so believably just about Darth Dawkins. Everything that everybody said in that video, I was like, that's so funny. So whenever somebody says somebody's a narcissist, I'm like, have you ever met one? I've talked to one, like a real narcissist. Like you talk to somebody who's an asshole. I promise. They're probably full of themselves and they're an asshole. I've met the real deal,
Met the ultimate narcissist.
dude. It is, and I think too many people in this space haven't seen Darth Dawkins, and that's why they say that they throw that word around the way that they do. It is unbelievable. I'm so glad to talk to somebody who actually knows who this is, because it is. Talking to him is an experience that will never leave you.
Yeah, I got muted by him in the politics server when I asked him to demonstrate that his God actually does any of the things that he says it does, like any of the foundations that he pulls from. And when he kept on trying to dance around and I kept asking him the same question, eventually he muted me.
Do you want to know what the silver bullet for him was?
What's up?
My presuppositional foundational basis for everything is my own consciousness. It has to be real, because in order for me to defend it, it must be real. And so, like, you have to rely on your consciousness to interpret revelation. I don't need that extra step. And my argument is now more pure pre-axiomatically than his is. And he got in trouble in the server for how he responded, because like he was then trying to talk to where I couldn't talk anymore. And This sucked for him. A lot. Anytime somebody has presuppositional apologetics, or like Andrew Wilson does. With Andrew Wilson, I said, my foundation is my own bodily autonomy. This is what I base all my rights and morals off of, and he can't beat that.
That's pretty good.
And Darth Dawkins can't beat. Foundationally, everything is an extension of my own consciousness. Yours too. Before God, you have to get here. And I hate it. It's a perversion of what I like to do here. Fuck both of them so hard. Yeah, I gotta pick that series back up. I appreciate you reminding me.
Please do, because it's more important now than ever. The Wilsonites are getting larger and stronger because of the Whatever podcast.
I had to ban them. I had to ban them from my chat. They were somebody was in my chat and they said Mantis was in my chat, and one of them said like basically threatened to come and harm her physically. I was like, all right, you gotta go. You can't, like, that's crazy. You can't do that in my chat. And I it's extremely hard to get banned or even timed out in my Discord or my chat. But that's the level of insanity that his crowd brings with him, or he brings with his crowd.
Very accepting of thoughts and ideas, like all the way around, even ones you don't like. But yeah, going to that extreme probably warrants it.
Yeah. They freaked me out.
And Wick had a debate about Christian nationalism with Andrew, I want to say less than a month ago.
Oh.
And Wick kind of, like, in a very goofy way, curb stomped him.
Good.
It wasn't clean. It wasn't pretty, but he just stayed in there with it. And the Wilsonites just lost their mind. Multiple Wilsonites made videos about why Wick was wrong. None of them addressed the argument that he made, like, which was basically, hey, in what way is Christian nationalism in line with the words of Jesus? none of them could address it, and it didn't look good. So like every ground which they said Wick lost on, that was the ground he stayed on and won.
I seen Wick debate him like a year and a half ago about political violence, and it went nowhere for like 2 hours. It was dumb.
Usually is.
So I'm very glad to hear that there was it was a real conversation.
No, I'm not going to say that was a real conversation. For the
Oh,
first, I want to say 30 minutes of it, they were trying to get Wick to adopt a burden of proof and saying that he had a positive claim and just disagreeing that Christian nationalism is what's best for America. So
I
they tried
see.
to word the prompt to force a burden of proof on Wick to explain why liberalism is better for America than Christian nationalism, which was never Wick's claim or purpose to begin with.
So it was just bad faith the whole time.
Oh yeah, and the moderator also being a fan of Andrew Wilson because she has him on all the time. I don't know if you've seen the Raging Tomato.
No.
So this is like a space that Andrew likes to pull up in pretty often, and she'll host his debates pretty often. And she has like a panel show, and she'll bring people on. She had Joe Lewis on like about a week ago, and I had to go on and scream at him because he said that white privilege doesn't exist,
That's
and he
crazy.
was making my head explode with the things he was saying in regards to white privilege.
I'm sorry, not Joe Lewis, right?
Joe Lewis was saying white privilege doesn't exist.
What? How did he turn into such a fucking clown, dude?
I don't know. And like the reason why he was doing this is because he comes from the pretense that whiteness does not exist. There is no such thing as white people. Therefore, there can be no white privilege. But all the sophistry that he throws into it just completely dilutes that point in its entirety and just makes a bunch of white nationalists nod their head. Yep, yes, brother, yes, yeah. And I had to go on and scream at him. To which I had
Oh my
a bunch of other black
god.
people just going off on me.
He wasn't that bad like 3 years ago when I first seen him.
No, I don't think so. But it's been interesting lately. I just think he's up his own ass lately.
Joe Lewis, you've seen how I talk to people and how I debate with people. The biggest dunk I ever had on anybody was Joe Lewis on a Prime Kai panel. People who didn't like me were like, Drazi? The dude just like every time I see him in Wix Discord, people are just clowning on him. He should be better.
The takes are pretty wild. He had a take on, oh, geez, this motorcycle's been doing this. Oh, this dude set off like 3 alarms like a minute ago. He was having a take in Wix about why you shouldn't call Lauren Southern a victim. And it's because to be a victim, that's assigning virtue to an individual. And we're all just like, no, Joe, that's not how that works. And he chose to die on that hill. It's like, we can just call her a shitty victim. Like, we can do that. There are other ways to go about this.
I don't know, man. I guess you already kind of answered that. So, like, does it make you upset that he argues race because he does it so poorly and like he always jumps on every conversation about it?
That's why I had to jump into the
Yeah.
Raging Tomato stream, because like I tried to ignore him. Like, he's just gonna be a dumbass. It's gonna be okay. We can just woo-saw through this, and he'll be gone. And after about an hour, I was just like, I can't. I have to. This motherfucker. God damn.
Uh. Yeah. I can't imagine how it's gotta feel seeing Joe Lewis being a representative.
It's
It's
like
gotta
after
be
he cut
rough.
his hair, it just got worse.
Yeah, he bums me out a lot.
because like she'll also bring on a lot of the black red pillars. So of course, during Joe's conversation, all these black red pill dudes pulled up and started spewing their nonsense. And while I'm in there trying to attack Joe, they're attacking me, giving cover to Joe, and Joe's just sitting there like, bob and weave, let these dudes handle it.
Fucking Joe
And I
Lewis.
called all these black dudes fragile as fuck because they didn't like that one bit.
Is anybody I know?
One of them is Cooley. I don't know if you've heard of him. The
Nope.
Angry Man is another one. He's pretty big on YouTube. He was going off on me and he wants to have like an actual formal debate with me, which I think is a waste of time because he's a raging idiot. I don't know who the other two dudes were, but yeah, they're all pretty bad and they're all fucking sophomore.
I like that word. That's a good word. Uh, yeah, I guess I don't. It's weird. It's weird that I know none of them.
When you have
Are,
people like that agreeing with you, you're probably saying something wrong and you should stop.
that's pretty fair. I think I'm on the same page with you there. Um, fuck, I can't find anything that I'm trying to pull up here. Been trying to pull something up for a while and I can't find any of it.
Are you trying to find your debate with Joe Lewis?
No, oh, dude. After that, Prime invited me on again, and my car broke. And I messaged him like 15 minutes beforehand, and he has never invited me back on again since. And to me, that sucked because I watched Prime. Like when I first started watching stuff in the politics space, it was basically Destiny and Prime's panels. That's it. Like the what was the OG like kick or keep show that he had?
Oh yeah, I remember that. That's when
Um,
Carantos was still around.
yeah. And uh, Bastiat was on a lot. It was like back in that era. So for me, like a measure of like that was like a measure of success for me that Prime guy reached out to me to be on his panel. I was like, that's too fucking cool to me. As somebody who got interested in the space watching that, and then I fucking blew it because my alternator fucking exploded on it, fell out is what happened,
Ooh,
and that controlled my fan, so I had to like drive a quarter mile, put more fluid into my fucking radiator because it was all bubbling out, overheating, and I didn't make it home till like an hour after.
God, horrible. He probably still would have let you on though, but it's still horrible. And you probably weren't in the mood after all that.
No, I wasn't. It was extremely stressful. I thought I was stuck, uh, and I took big risk of like bricking my vehicle getting home.
Yeah, I
Um,
haven't been invited on by Prime since he stopped doing all black everything.
oh, he stopped doing that.
Yeah, he stopped doing it, I want to say 6 months ago, give or take.
Oh shit, I didn't know that.
Like he'd have one every few months because it was like every Thursday, and I was pretty much on there every Thursday because he would shoot me an invite. And then he started doing it less and less, I guess, his interest in it died down, or I don't know what happened, but he just kind of stopped doing it.
Oh, I don't. I haven't kept up with anything in the space in like the last, well, really the last like year. But I'm super ready to debate people on tariffs, but seems like that might be a while. Um,
Yeah,
my it's I'm more than halfway done with my training to be a customs broker, and I've learned all the tariff stuff.
I'm sorry.
It is a crash college
That
course. That's what
book
the training
is
is.
the tariff book is
I said that earlier. The world tariff, the harmonized tariff system, is massive. Luckily, there's a digital version of it. Um,
thank
and the
God.
the takeaway that I keep repeating, and I've repeated it on here already, Trump has no idea. Absolutely no idea how complicated this is. it takes somebody who's trained like somebody who's been doing it a long time, like 20 minutes to process one package. International trade is there's got to be a better way. It's crazy. The
Like
system's
the
still
way
DOS based. It's unreal. Like we have modern tools, but to actually process imports, it's fucking DOS, dude. You have to
Bro, the
run applications
classification
in
for
the
shit.
application by typing like 46 to enter this application, and there's sub applications, and it's all green text, dude.
It's terminals in these places. It's not even like real computers. It's terminals.
Luckily, it is a intranet that's connected to the terminal, so I can use a modern computer, and you connect to the terminal now. So
Get the fuck. I
at
used to work
least,
in imports, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
oh, you do know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, my first job was imports, and my second job was also imports right after that. I was a break bulk specialist.
A what?
Break bulk specialist.
Okay.
So
I
I
don't
didn't do
know.
like we had a broker in house, but we processed all of the incoming shipments, made arrival notices, let people know how they could get their stuff shipped to them, all this stuff. And then we also do console boxes where we had to get classifications for each item from the broker in order to process the consolidation. It's crazy work. And like how certain things get classified is so off the wall. It's like depending on what it's made of, what it is. There's actually a section in the tariff book called the edible offal of asses.
There's that.
It's somewhere in the book. My manager showed it to me.
So were you like you're? Did you work for like an SBO?
It was a I don't know a freight forwarding company.
Well, like special brokerage option is when you don't go through like the. So like for me, it would be somebody that's outside of like, because like I'm in FedEx Logistics, which works directly with customs, and some
Yeah,
people
this was
will.
a small business, so I wasn't connected to anything like that. And like basically, we would get shipments from China to like Guangzhou, um,
Oh, did you at
Brazil.
least have like the same customers that you were working with?
Yeah,
Oh, see, I have all of FedEx customers to
yeah, that's
process.
bonkers. That's
So there's
freaking
just a lot of extra
bonkers.
steps.
Can't imagine. I don't know why you did this to yourself, but
Because
congratulations.
after training, I get to work from home.
Fair enough.
That's the main reason why. But every day, it's really hard to explain. Like I don't have any energy to do anything, even though I sat at a computer all day. It's they're training us in 5 weeks to start processing on our own.
Good luck. I wish you strength.
Thanks. Next week we start keying imports in ourselves, but having like managers around to like help us, and then we have to do 2 weeks of processing and keying them on our own, and it just seems like it's gonna be a nightmare.
Well, it definitely will be, but I mean, it's doable. I think freight forwarding is probably one of the most stressful jobs I've ever seen.
The way I look at it is this: it's not hard, it's complicated, and I think once I get the rhythm, it'll be good, it'll be
And it's
fine.
very time oriented.
Yeah, as
So,
long
like,
as
I was working during the port lockout in 2001 or two, I think it was, and the management from because we had a home office in New York, they
mhm.
came out to like set us Los Angeles people straight and why we're not handling this port lockout correctly. The owner literally ended up under the table crying.
You should you know when this dies down and we can have conversations about other things in like a week or so, you should host a panel about Trump's tariffs.
I'd be down.
Um
That makes me have to get Gibbs, but god damn it.
cuz you can back me up. There's no way he has a fucking clue, right?
No, absolutely not. Even the people advising him are lying to him. Like,
Yeah. Cuz like I would be there's maybe one person in the cabinet that has any idea and to what it actually means, like how much there's no way we're not slowing up things now. FedEx Logistics hired since June 1,700 people. This is just the one company. And I foolishly on my first day I said, are we gonna get replaced by AI in like 6 months? They're like, no, we've tried, but it's too complicated. And I was like, I don't know about that. And then I'm looking at him like, oh, I get it.
Ain't no way AI is doing this with
Not
accuracy.
yet.
Like you
Yeah, not
cannot
yet.
make mistakes like that with customs, because whenever you classify something wrong, they're going to reject it. The man
Yeah,
hours that are going to be lost if AI tries to do this is insane.
that's the my girlfriend got a job at the same place at the 1 week sooner than me, and the thing that I talked a lot about is that a regular job, like you just fuck up and your manager talks to you. If you fuck this up, like you're pissing off the government now.
And you're
So
slowing down shipments. Like
yeah,
it's
there's way
bad.
bigger implications to fucking it up. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, dude, I'm so tired every day. It's hard to stay awake during some of the training. It is it's the biggest job I've ever had in my life.
It's huge.
But I hope that it does seem like if you get good at it, there's like plenty of room for advancement.
Oh yeah, and you'll never like, because the turnover rate on brokers and things like that in businesses, because so many people get burnt out or
Yeah,
whatever, you'll always have a place to go.
they
You'll never
bring
be
in new
without a
people
job.
every single week, and I'm like, I wonder how long people last doing this. That's been on my mind a lot.
So the manager that was there when I was working is now a masseuse. The person that got me the job, who was my manager at the next place, is now an acupuncturist.
They said I'd rather work with my hands. My big thing too is I don't want to be on a ladder anymore. I'm getting too
Oh, I
old.
feel you.
My ankles and
It's
my
just the
knees get sore.
stress. Yeah,
Yeah,
physical labor is not great once you get closer to 40. The closer you get to 40, the worse it gets. And the further beyond 40 it gets, you're on a clock.
I'm 36 and I'm fat. Unfortunately, I'm still coming home just dying to go to bed, but
I feel you. But yeah, I can't think of who I would bring on for a tariff panel that's actually knowledgeable. But when it comes down to anybody I get that's actually supporting Trump's tariffs, they have absolutely no clue how tariffs work. So it's like I could literally just
no.
reach in the dark and grab anybody that supports it and bring them on.
Everything
So
I've
like
learned, I'm
Black
like, I've
Boy,
never heard anybody talk about this.
I mean, people bring it up, but the right wingers just like kind of hand wave it like it's nothing and say everything's great. So it's kind of bonkers. Like anybody that actually wants to drill down on tariffs, I think will do a fantastic job if they even have any idea of how tariffs actually work. Which one of the main ones I've heard that actually acts like he knows what's up because he owns businesses is Grid Motorsports.
I think I've heard that name before.
He's a buddy of Gibbs, and Gibbs brings him on a lot of the stuff that he does. And Grid tries to act like he knows how business works and why tariffs are good, and he's just completely talk. I'm listening and I'm screaming in my head like, "Make this man stop!"
Oh, I found this. There we go. Share. I'm gonna send this just right to you, if you're curious ever. Um, I only found it when I searched just my name though.
Oh, nice. This panel doesn't even exist anymore, does it?
This wasn't even a. This isn't even a panel. This is a channel that picked up and started posting Andrew Wilson's debates. And I'm grateful because they fixed up my audio and stuff. We were initially debating about the morality of chemically castrating pedophiles
That's why Mr.
who are not
Girls
offending.
brought up in the comments. Okay.
Yeah, they got into it on a panel, on a Stardust panel, and I was like, I'd be happy to debate you on it. And he was like, okay. But he meant like right now. And I was like, oh shit. So I got up out of bed from the panel that I was just watching. And I wasn't like in the space really at all yet. I just wanted to debate people. I used to debate in Discords all the time before I started streaming. So I got up out of bed and I debated him. And If you're ever bored and you want to put it on, you can tell me if you thought I won. I think that's what winning against Andrew Wilson is, when you make him leave and he doesn't get you on anything.
I'm excited to watch it. And I think you're probably one of the most competent debaters I've seen in this space that's actually productive in what they do.
Thank you. I try to be. Somebody just called in a couple weeks ago. They thought I had a bad take on Twitter, and they ended it with, "Well, I'm glad we don't really disagree. You're one of the most honest people in this entire space." And I was like, "Oh, thank you. That means a lot to me." You might not like me, but don't call me bad faith.
Yeah, no, that's never something I would apply to you. And I don't think it's ever been an irresponsible idea to bring you on for like any topic.
I appreciate it.
That's pretty rare in these spaces because we have so much irresponsible platforming going on.
That's true. That's true. The only things I'll never debate somebody on is race realism and the Jewish question. I refuse. I'll debate privately, but I won't stream it. And if you're streaming, I won't do it.
I
Because all these
appreciate it
people
because
they're crackheads. They know how to make their shit sound good, and they lie. And I just can't. I can't. That's that. I can't do it. They they're so deep, like, into the hole. Like, you can't. They can argue their lies better than like anybody can argue the truth. And I feel like that's like the only two things I can think of where like even Destiny's just giving them a megaphone. If you try to debate them, it's all they care about in life.
their knowledge base when it comes down to these things and every talking point they have saved up, you have to be prepared to destroy with extreme malice every single one of them. And if you don't, you just made them another follower. You just made another person a race realist. You just made another person a Jew hater. Like, you are literally just feeding the machine at that point, unless you can efficiently annihilate everything they're doing.
And you can only do that by immersing yourself in it.
And who wants to do that?
I can't do it, dude. I can't do it. I won't do it. It is of no interest to me.
Like,
They have their own science. It's not fair.
I currently have a pet groiper that I had to ban from my Discord for constant ad nauseum Jewish conspiracies, which most of these I had never even heard of before. Like, this dude came in railing about the USS Liberty, and I'm like, the fuck are you on about? And so I look it up, and I had to like immerse myself in all of this nonsense. And I'm like, who has time? Who wants to do this?
Yeah.
And the latest one that he gave me, he said that aliens aren't real. They're a Jewish conspiracy made from Hollywood to hide their nuclear program. I'm like, bruh, I've never heard that once in my life. I was this many years old before I heard that nonsense before.
It's a pretty good one. Yeah.
I can't.
I won't touch it. And I don't think I think it's just one of the things that's not worth talking about.
Those are two things I also refuse, and then I also won't debate Israel-Palestine just because.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't, because I don't. I know that I can't figure it out, and I don't trust anybody else to get good information. Period. Like, I'm not saying that you are incorrect. I'm saying that maybe what you're basing your ideas off of is incorrect. All the information's biased. All of it. I went on.
I don't touch that.
I had a one-on-one with Wick where I asked him to explain things to me, and allow me to ask questions along the way to help me understand it better. That's the only kind of conversation I'm willing to have. Is if you say you know a lot about it, talk to me about it, and I need to be able to interject and ask questions at any point. It's the only way I feel comfortable learning. Because if you say something that doesn't make sense, you need to make it make sense. Otherwise, I need to disregard that in the process of me learning.
That's responsible. See, you're literally one of the most responsible people I could run across.
And that's part of the reason why too I didn't stream for so long, is even when I wanted to, it was all Israel Palestine, and like, I can't do it. I don't.
Nope, I wasn't touching it.
somebody tried to get me to do it, and I'm just like, well, don't you think that like doing this is bad? I'm like, yeah, but like I don't know any of the context. Like, yeah, what you're saying sounds bad, but like I don't know if you know what you're talking about either. I don't know. I was like, dude, we can keep going around with this, but like I can't really agree with anything that you're saying. Like in a vacuum, sure, yeah, that's bad. I don't know though. Stop trying to make me agree with you when I told you I don't want to talk about this.
Swear to God, if so many people could just take the position of I don't know and I'm trying to learn more, we would be a lot further along as a species.
Yeah, yesterday everybody knew that this guy was trans. You know, they knew it.
First that he was leftist, then he was trans, and like they are absolutely sure that this is going on, and they're forming strong opinions about all these things as we go along. And we haven't even found the dude. Like we had the wrong suspect, even as they were saying this.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. When they were calling for the wrong guy to be killed on television.
On television. God damn it. I blame Kash Patel for so much of this. Dude's such a moron. Like,
How,
that was one I really wanted to get to was the Epstein stuff. Go ahead.
uh, how, he's Indian, right?
Yeah.
How did we get like the one Indian guy who's like in a like all the Indian guys that have like a public face are some of the smartest people in the world who are in this country. How do we get the one that has no fucking clue? It's crazy. We got the most inept one in our government. It's fucking
I mean,
crazy.
we
Every
had the
single
runner up
Indian
as well.
person in the United States who I can recognize by their face, that guy's literally a genius. Except for him.
They had three. They had Kash Patel, they had Dinesh D'Souza, and they had who was the other guy? I can't remember his name. Vivek.
Oh
All
yeah,
stark raving morons.
that's true. Uh, but all the other ones who are recognizable, like tech CEOs, replacing some of the most known names in all of tech history. When it comes to
Brilliant people.
government, just drop the ball entirely. I should feel so confident, like, oh, we got we got an Indian dude in charge. Like, I should feel so confident right now.
I'm shocked at how inept these people are.
Yeah, because and just to caveat what I'm saying, so I don't sound like a crazy racist person here. It takes a lot to migrate from India to the United States. You got to be bringing something, and that's why Indian people in the United States are so successful, because successful people are coming here, but not when it comes to government.
For some odd reason, they just found the most moronic people to pull up. But it's kind of priceless to see his face when he has to deliver the Epstein news.
Him on Joe
Like you can see
Rogan.
his soul. You can see his soul dying as he's saying, you know, we looked into it. There was nothing there. It's like, bro.
Knowing damn well he's got to come back on in a week and take it back.
Oh man. Like the little victories, the little things in life that you could savor as being just full on hilarious. It's all so bleak, but those small shining moments are something to hold dear.
He is pretty goofy. By the way, I was supposed to. I tried, and Becton had somebody who was supposed to come on, uh, who was on the right side of all this. They just couldn't make the time, the window. They were going to be audio only. And I had Socrates was going to come on when that happened, but it just didn't happen.
Oh, I
But
missed that dude.
if
Miss
you
good
if
people.
you if you have anybody on the right who is itching to get their ideas out, send them my way.
I know Sprouticus was wanting to talk about it. Let me see if he's available right now.
Oh no, but I love Sprout. Yeah, it checks out. I can see this. I just told Socrates, and he said probably lost interest. And I found out he was a whitey.
Bruh.
I'll be right back. I just gotta get some water.
For sure. That room is half green. Yet still managed to get a picture on the wall. And I'm not sure if that's Kratos or if it's some Christmas figure. It looks like Kratos.
So interestingly, this room is half green because this used to be the room that Tuna Chip streamed
Oh.
in. And that picture is, I'll grab it. This was every major player or every major character, NPC and player character in my 5-year long D&D campaign. The DM got this made for all the players.
That's dope.
This is my character who had 3 different bodies throughout the campaign. So he's painting himself in the different forms that he had.
I'm so not going on grid stream. No, no, no. No, 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 no.
And also, that not only did it span five years, but 2 separate campaigns were interacting in the same world on
That's so
different
freaking
days.
dope.
We had one time where both campaigns came together for one big session, and that giant was a giant that was in their campaign, and there was a guy who almost never spoke IRL in their campaign, and when they downed the giant, who was like a positive person in the world, he disintegrated the body so they couldn't be revived, and his character got killed right there. And they're like, dude, you never even talk, and the one time you actually try to do something, like, I guess he was just like, I'm just happy to be here and hang out every week. So yeah, he disintegrated that giant's body and it got his character killed.
That's crazy. Oh, I've never had a D&D group that lasted more than 3 weeks.
I
So that just
actually,
has
on
to
my
be awesome.
channel, some of the campaign was on the channel. I was like, do you guys care if I stream it? And I just had some of the D&D sessions on there. My DM was an English major too.
Oh, sick.
He was a great DM.
I just got invited on the Grid Motorsports panel about nerd stuff, and I'm like, ain't no way.
Oh, what do you think about some politics stuff aside? What do you think about the Spider-Man set?
I don't know how I feel yet. That Mr. Negative looks crazy. This seems like a terribly bad card. But a lot of these other cards look severely broken.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty much here for it.
I'm
Forget which ones they were.
I'm going to pre-release with a Metamore.
Can't go wrong there.
My girlfriend's husband and I have been playing Magic. Let's see, Mr. Negative. First ETB life change effect ever. I really like the guy that turns into an island or a blue mana source.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Everybody hates the Spider-Man set.
I can see why. I mean, it's 100% not a Magic thing, but they've been doing it for a while, so what are you going to do?
It's like breaking the color pie. There's 18 Spider-Men in the set.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff does seem really pushed in it.
And that's part of the problem of why I could see people like not being cool with it. It just is so off flavor for Magic.
Yeah.
But I don't think Hasbro cares anymore, and that's why I've stopped giving them my money, but I still can't bring myself to stop playing.
They're making standard stuff for Commander. That's the problem.
I hate it. Oh, I hate it so much. Like, I got really sad when EDH became Commander and Magic actually took a hold of it and like got to manage the rules, because like One
Oh
of the
yeah, yeah.
primary things they removed was being able to tuck someone's general. I hate that we can't tuck people's generals anymore. Like, so many things they came in and just screwed up, and then they started making commander sets.
Yep.
Like, that pissed me off.
I don't know
And
if you know this. The Avatar set they're not making commander decks for.
kind of good, but it's still just going to be another commander set.
It's the most commander set kind of thing that they've made for Universes Beyond. Do you know what the reason was? We
Oh,
we can't make the deck. It's too hard to make the decks with proper color identities. That's the easiest one.
it's literally
You
broken
mean
up
you couldn't
in
make
magic-like colors.
fitting into the color pie? Like you mean you couldn't make a mono red firebending deck, or you couldn't
Yeah,
combine different bending styles into a deck? That was too much for you? Are you shitting me?
it seemed pretty on the nose, and they just, of course, want to screw the pooch all over again. I'm looking at this Moreland card. Why is Moreland even in here? I can't do this. 2 black X life link enters with X/1/1 counters on him.
Oh
Deals X
yeah,
damage to an opponent.
black lightning bolt on a creature.
That's crazy. And
Yep.
he's like one of the most hateable Spider-Man personalities ever. Like, he came from the worst Spider-Man storyline. Well, it's hard to say which is the worst Spider-Man storyline because there's so many bad ones.
Uh, yeah. Nobody's happy with it. I'd love it if it wasn't standard legal.
That would be nice. Like, I was hoping these things wouldn't be standard legal, but they keep bringing them in. Like, even the Final Fantasy set, as much as I liked it, shouldn't have been standard, in my opinion.
Agreed. At least Final Fantasy fits. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Fits fantasy.
it
Doctor
wasn't
Who
too
was
bad.
good. Like as far as Universe Beyond, Lord of the Rings, Doctor Who, Final Fantasy. I understand the argument.
Dude, the One Ring is still fucking up magic as we know it.
It's true. At least they had the decency to let you buy a box that had one in it.
Yeah, they flooded the market with them.
And they're still like $100.
Dude, why did they put the totem people into this set? It's so bad.
Is this the first time you're really looking at it?
Yeah, and it's making me sadder
Yeah.
than I already was.
So my girlfriend's husband loves Spider-Man and just got back into Magic like a couple months ago.
Oh,
So it's good for him. But I do you know who In Pursuit of Knowledge is?
sounds familiar.
Him and I had a debate about Universes Beyond. And his argument was it's bringing new players into the game, therefore it's good for the game. Like,
That's
not
what
if it
people's
makes the game
argument is.
worse. Not if it makes the game worse. They're not going to
It's
stay.
turning away people that have been playing since forever. Like, the core base is being eviscerated by what they're doing to bring in new players that probably won't stick around. So ultimately, yes, it is harming the game. This card makes my
Yeah.
heart hurt. Cosmic Spider-Man makes my heart hurt.
Is that the 5-color one?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, I'm gonna be sick.
He lost the debate when he said he thought Cynthia Williams was good. I was like, dude, Magic, is it Magic 30? Like, I win. You just lost out the whole thing. Like, what?
Oh, she was so bad for Magic.
She is so bad that Marlboro didn't want her. Or Philip Morris, sorry.
Damn. I figured that's what you meant.
And
Oh, that's hilarious.
and just like she did when she was running the cigarette company, she came here to give us all cancer.
This is cancer. This absolutely is. Oh my goodness. They have
This
repeat
is still her
Spider-Man.
fault because the Assassin's Creed was her fault. This was supposed to be an Assassin's Creed style thing, but since that failed, they made it a full set, which is probably
I
why
heard
there's
nothing
18
but bad
Spider-Man.
things. I've heard nothing but bad things about that set. I
Oh, it
ignored it.
sucked. It cost $8 for a pack, and there was less cards in the pack. The cards were lukewarm at best. It was goofy. I bought a few packs, and nothing felt cool. Even like the Ezio
Yes.
cards didn't feel cool.
Yeah, I've only seen a couple get played in people's EDHs, which let you know that the set was like holistically worthless.
Yes. Even their like pushed commander cards, they like the one was it triggered when any other assassin attacked, so he couldn't even trigger himself. It was the design of the whole set was bad. Oh, also we don't
Yeah.
get any of the Spider-Man cards in Arena.
The f-
We get redesigned magic themed versions of all the cards. So we're gonna have a ton of cards that just involve spiders for some reason. It's basically just a spider themed set with art and names that don't really track with the whole vibe, but good art.
Large quantities of no thank you.
The plus side of it is they have brought a bunch of art that they just had no use for. That's good. That they're just slapping on these cards.
I'm insulted.
They couldn't get the licensing for Arena. I guess at a price that they felt comfortable with. So we don't get that.
So we all have to suffer.
Yep. So not only is the Spider-Man set what it is, but we have to get fake versions of the Spider-Man cards for Arena, and I think MTGO as well.
So I already wasn't interested. Now I'm just irritated.
It's fair.
I can't with this.
I'm going to pre-release because I love pre-release.
It's been a while for me. I'd like to go at some point, but I just don't
You didn't do Final
can't
Fantasy?
bring myself. No, I couldn't bring myself. I was gonna buy a collector's box at least, and I was just like, I don't want to give Hasbro my money, but it's worth so much money. Like I'd be making 3 times my money just on this. Like I need to do it, but screw them so much.
I got the Chase Chocobo out of my pre-release kit.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I can't remember its name, but it goes in flubs.
Very nice. I think it was a traveling chocobo.
That sounds right. Traveling. Oh, it must be. It popped up so quick. Yeah, I got a borderless traveling chocobo in my pre-release kit.
Dick.
It
Like
was
the
it was
value
very
on those
nice.
cards, like just for resale, is so insane.
Yep.
Like Vivi destroys the meta. Like
There's a tweet somewhere on my Twitter where I said, as soon as it got spoiled, I was like, this is unbelievably broken. And I realized it's gonna be fine. I was like, this is the best Storm card I've ever seen in my whole life.
yeah, it's begging for it. If you manage to storm while that thing is out, you are basically winning.
Yeah.
Because I think that Otter Planeswalker, like if he pops off and Vivi comes out, you're basically dead. You didn't know you were dead yet, but you've been dead for a minute.
You ever play Modern or Legacy?
I don't at the moment. I used to play
Did you
like with
used to?
physical cards,
Yeah.
but I haven't played Legacy since Fish happened,
Oh, okay. Whoa.
and I was playing
Um,
Legacy Fish.
in like Gate Crash era, I seen somebody playing Modern Storm, and I was like, I'll give you all the money in my pocket for your deck. And so for $176, he gave me a workable version of the deck. It had 2 fetches in it. So
Hey,
that was my entry into it. I seen John Finkel play it in the Pro Tour, and I was like, that's so cool. I didn't even understand. They didn't
Finkel.
explain what was happening, so it just looked like he was cheating, drawing cards and playing cards without tapping any lands.
It is cheating. Like, just straight up, it is cheating. There's certain combo decks that just make you lose hope in everything involved with the game. Oh, my kid's mom's calling me, so I got to dip.
All
But it's
right.
been a blast hanging out with you, and hope to talk to you again soon.
Same, buddy. Take care.
Peace, my dude.
Peace out. And on that note, I'm gonna wrap it up. I don't have anything else to say about it. I didn't have anybody to argue with. So